Good morning. Today I am going to teach you how to make a low carb bread. It is so good. It winds up having about 1.33 carbs per slice. So let's get started. Hello, this is Just Jackie Low Carb on Facebook. I wanted to teach you guys how to make a wonderful bread today. It's low carb. It's less than 2 carbs. It winds up being like 1.33 carbs per slice. There's actually 22 carbs in the whole loaf. So let's get started. I found the easy way to do this is to put your ingredients in baskets. All my dry ingredients are in the basket you're looking at now. And we're going to be using vital wheat gluten, oat fiber, brown flaxseed meal, xanthan gum, honey, salt, and erythritol. The vital wheat gluten, I have mine back storage, and this is what that is. It comes from Bob's Red Mill Vital Wheat Gluten or Anthony's. Any vital wheat gluten will work. This is my dry ingredients. Here is my other box that I was telling you about, a box or basket, whatever you want to call it. It is for my wet ingredients, which includes my eggs, my butter, and I have my yeast in that because it has to stay refrigerated. So this stays in the refrigerator. The other ingredient that I don't have in here is the water. That's because we use hot tap water. Okay, I'll see you soon. We are back. I advise everyone to please buy a scale. They're not very expensive, and they're the most accurate way to get this exactly right. You start out by weighing I weigh the dry ingredients first. So I'm going to do 192 grams of vital wheat gluten. That's 61. $104. $147. A little over 193. So it's supposed to be 192. I'll take a bit out. Exactly 192. Then you clear out your scale. And you go to the next ingredient. We're going to do 38 grams of oat fiber. This is not hard at all, especially with a scale. But you need to be precise. I've tried the cup measurements and that don't work. $32. Exactly 38. Now we're going to do the flaxseed meal. I like the golden, but my favorite is the brown flaxseed meal. You clear out your scale again, and then you measure 84 grams of the milled flaxseed. $71. Exactly 84. grams. We're using grams here. Okay, and then I go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Forgot to bring my spoons over. This will help the texture of the bread. And it's not that expensive. This is actually Bob's Red Mill. Now we're going to add the erythritol. We're going to add 5 tablespoons. I like mine a little sweeter, so we're doing 5 tablespoons of the erythritol. It's not necessary that it be powdered. You can powder it, but sometimes I powder mine, sometimes I don't. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we need to add the salt. Some people like to add it around the pan, but I find it's just easier. Just go ahead and do it this way. And I prefer to use 1 1/4 teaspoons of, I tried the pink Himalayan sea salt. It don't seem to work as well for me. So we're doing 1 1/4 teaspoons of just regular old table salt. So that is my dry ingredients. Now we're going to start on the wet ingredients when I come back. Keep me straight. Okay, I'm back now. We're going to measure our wet ingredients now. I'm starting with 200 grams of tap water. It's got to be hot, just tap water hot. This is crucial. If you put too much, it won't work. So I figured this out. You do 200 grams of tap water. So we're going to start measuring that first. This what has changed and really worked for me on the water. Okay, I got a little too much, so I have to take some more out. 211, 209, 205. Exactly 200 grams of water. Okay, so we're going to set this aside while I measure my butter. Your butter needs to be softened. So I'm going to let that soften while I start pouring the other ingredients into the bread machine. We need 30 grams of butter. I prefer Kerrygold, but I'm out of that at the moment. It's close, right around about 2 tablespoons. Maybe a little more. $24. $29. Another little sliver here. There we go, 30 grams of butter. I'm going to place that in the microwave to soften it. You don't want it hot, but you don't want it cold. Okay, I'm going to beat up my eggs. Just just lightly beaten with a fork, that's all I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to pause for just a minute and get restaged to start putting the ingredients in the bread machine. Okay, so now we're ready to start putting things in the bread machine. We're going to start off with our water, our 200 grams of water. Pour that in the bottom. We're going to add our 2 eggs, whisk them just a teeny bit more. And next comes our flours. We measured them all out, but we didn't stir them. You need to whisk them together really well to grind up that salt a little bit and to help everything come together. Then we'll put it in the pan. Okay, we're ready to go. Be careful with putting this in because it'll fly everywhere if you're not careful. Just kind of slowly rake it into the pan on top of the water and the eggs. I find that this size bowl works better for me than any other bowl, and I just picked this up at Dollar Tree. They come as 3 in a package, but they're a little bit deeper than your regular bowls and they're a little bit smaller in width. So it really works with the bread machine well. Just rake it all out in there and kind of spread it a little bit. Now we want to make a little well in the center. That's going to be for our yeast. Okay, so we're going to add our butter next. That we softened in the microwave. Just kind of spread it around the edges and the side and the corner. Just kind of round. We have found out that it doesn't really make a difference if you use the salted or unsalted butter. Both work. The first time I did that, I thought it was going to be too salty, and it was not. There we go. Okay, so now it's time to put the honey in. And I have a little trick for that. If you don't already know it, most bakers do. We need 1 teaspoon of honey. By the way, don't count the honey in your carbs. It is eaten by the yeast. So don't worry yourself over that. It negates it. So the trick is to use a little spray right here in your spoon, and then the honey will just ease on out and roll right out of the spoon. Watch this. Okay, you want to kind of sprinkle it right in the little hole you made. See how that's coming right out? Works every time. And now it's time for the yeast. Now on the yeast, I've used other yeast. They will work. It takes longer rising times. I've used Flashman's. I've used the bread machine yeast. But this is the Saf Instant yeast. And I've found that it allows the bread to rise much better. This is the label off of the Saf yeast. I'll order that through Amazon. And I like to use a heaping tablespoon here. We need all the help we can get since this is not real flour. There's my yeast. We just put it in here right on top of that honey in that little hole we made. Okay, so we are now ready to start making our bread. Cord didn't want to reach. Okay, you're going to do the dough setting on here. So it really doesn't matter about the color or anything like that, because all we're going to do is use the dough setting to knead our bread. This is using the dough setting will keep it from caving in most of the time. That way it gets one cycle of the kneading. Now I use 2 cycles for other things, and we will go into those later. Okay, I got my select, now I'm going to hit my start. Okay, that gives you 1 hour and 30 minutes that it's going to take care of this bread. And so you're done for a while. So I'll see you when it's through kneading, and I'll let you take a look to see what it's like. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back. The bread is done in the dough setting, and we're fixing to shape it and bringing it out of the pan right now so you can see it as it is. See this? Nice. Come feel this dough. Oh my God. Nice, wonderful dough. Now, we want to shape it to go in a loaf pan. And I like rolling mine and stretching it kind of, so it makes that top part a little taut, so that it can rise it really well and not get no air pockets. So we're going to poke in the ends and pinch, 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 pinch. Poke in this end and pinch, 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 pinch. Okay. Here it is, and it's ready to go in the oven to be proofed. Now I have a proofer on my oven, and most people don't, but you can boil, say about 4 cups of boiling water, turn your oven on for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then turn it back off and put the boiling water in it and cover your pan with plastic wrap, which I forgot to put out. And then you're going to place it in your oven. You should spray your plastic wrap and put it on top. And now we're ready for it to go in the oven. And I'll show you what it looks like when the proofing time is done. It can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours. So wait on your bread and do not get impatient. It is worth it. I'll check back with you when it's done proofing. Okay, I'm back. I am pulling the bread out of the microwave because I have to put it in there with a hot thing of water to keep it warm while the oven preheated. So you're getting to see the bread as it has risen. I don't want it to rise any taller than this because it's going to be at 350 and it's going to rise in the oven. And I will come back and show you what it looks like when we are done. Okay, I am back. I'm pulling the bread out of the oven now. It's been baking at 350 for 30 minutes. And just take a look at this loaf of bread. How beautiful it is. Okay, I made one earlier, and I'm going to show you what it does. But I've already sliced and let you see what it's like. I recommend you wait until the next day to slice this bread. And I'll show you a slice of how beautiful it is. Just look at that. Perfect bread. Okay, I wanted to tell you something else. When you take the bread out, you need to leave it in the pan for 30 minutes. You're going to do 10 minutes straight up, and then 10 minutes on one side, and then 10 minutes on the other side. It is very important that you do that so the bread does not cave in. So you'll leave it sitting like this for 10 minutes. Then you will turn it on its side like this for 10 minutes. Then on the other side. And you should have a perfect loaf of bread every time. Thank you for watching, and I'll be doing many more videos. Goodbye.